Hi everyone, welcome back to EcommerceSuccess by Ad360. Today I'm going to talk about Twitter's latest features, announcements, which have everything to do with e-commerce and social commerce and facilitating purchases directly from Twitter. It's super interesting. Is Twitter going to become an e-commerce platform as well as a social media? That's an interesting question and interesting strategy to review. Before we do that, please like the video, comment and subscribe, because all these little actions really make a big difference in helping us grow the channel and share as many news, tips, best practices to business owners so that you can be happier, more productive and successful. Thank you in advance. This video is brought to you by Ad360, the easiest way to start advertising all over the web in just one click, but more on that at the end of the video. Okay, let's review together this news. So I will put the link of the article in the description below so that you can review it by yourself in more detail. So Twitter's latest feature lets merchants tease upcoming product drops, remind customers to shop. So that's super interesting. So now brands can announce, tease a feature, the future product release, product drops. And you see you have this little remind me button. So if there's a product release on a certain date, you can click on the button, set a reminder to get a notification when the product actually gets released. And then on that day, you have this pop-up that appears and that prompts you to buy the product. So it's both a way for the brands to communicate on the new products, new announcements, product drops, promotions. So there's a lot of ways that you can leverage this feature as a brand to communicate with your audience. So you can't buy like any product. It has to be tied to a new feature or new product, a new announcement. So in that way, I think it makes sense because Twitter remains this, news relevant, what's going on at the moment, social media, but they introduce elements of e-commerce on top of that. And so that's a strategy. They're doing more and more stuff around e-commerce. So this new feature, product drop, is not the first thing that they're doing. We've discussed in a few past videos actually the social commerce features that Twitter is starting to implement and why it's a big trend. And so although the future of Twitter is still undecided at the moment, is Elon Musk actually going to buy it? Is it going to be at the discount price or not? The full price? Is it going to walk away? So there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment about Twitter, but they continue working, they continue releasing new features. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the hood, so that's really cool to see. And so I look forward to seeing more e-commerce features being released on not only Twitter, but all the all the social media platforms. They're increasingly integrating these e-commerce features because for them, that's a way to add on additional revenue sources. It's a way to increase users' experience by offering seamless ways of discovering new products. And if you learn about a new brand on Twitter, you may not want to review the brand, click on the website, look at the products, buy somewhere else, and then come back to Twitter. You want maybe to do most of the shopping experience on Twitter itself. And it's super relevant for other platforms like TikTok, for example. They have a very similar strategy. And Facebook, where you can even do more stuff, because at the end of the process here on Twitter, you still have to go to the website just for the final step for the checkout. So you can see the product detail and the pricing and the description on Twitter. But if you actually want to complete the purchase, you have to finalize this on the website. They don't want to own the process end to end. Facebook has a bit of a different strategy. The TechCrunch article explains, because you can do the end-to-end purchase flow within Facebook, or Meta, as we should say now. And so this is powered by Meta Pay. And so Twitter now doesn't have their own payment system. So that's a bit of a difference. And so last week, we also made a video about Google, and one of their executives focused on e-commerce strategy. And we also discussed that. So there are similarities between what Twitter is announcing now and what Google is working on, and what Meta is already doing with the ability to purchase product directly from Google products like YouTube, like Google Maps, like the search results, without going to like Google Shopping. So in the future, you will be able to buy in one click. So a bit closer to how Facebook and Meta work at the moment. So you will have an end-to-end purchase flow directly from YouTube or Google Maps or the search results without having to go to the merchant site. But the merchant still remains in control of the buyer info. That's a key difference compared to Amazon, for example, where you don't have access to your buyer's info. Amazon is in control of everything. They're very protective of the data. They don't share that even with the sellers. So here, both with Twitter and Meta and Google in the future, the merchant still will have the customer info, their name, email, address, and so on. So that's, I think, a key plus if you want to control your user base and then upsell, cross-sell, do email marketing, do retargeting to bring them back to the website and have a big lifetime value. That's super important. Okay, so regardless of all that, it's super interesting, and you see, this is just one more feature on top of a series of updates to Twitter's e-commerce products. So in March this year, they had launched already some online storefronts called Twitter Shops. They have started testing in November last year live stream shopping with Walmart. They have new Twitter card formats for product pages. You have product carousels called shop spotlights. And so you have a ton of stuff. So the article says, Twitter's entry into online shopping is still early. It's not yet a source of revenue as they don't take a cut on the product price. So that's interesting to know. But even though they might introduce that in the future, but right now they're trying to get users to do more stuff on Twitter, offer more value, more features, get more people to try Twitter, get more brands to be active on Twitter, and they just want to generate more activity from actual humans and not from bots. But jokes aside, that's really great. I think it's a really good strategy for Twitter. I'm myself very convinced that social commerce is going to be the next mega trend for online businesses. And right now it's too much separated. In the future, it will become much more intricated, and you'll have the majority of your sales coming directly from integrated e-commerce features I had in social media. I'm absolutely sure of that. And so it's super interesting to see Twitter going in that direction. Let me know in the comments what you think. Have you ever, considered selling products on Twitter with the Twitter shops? Do you look forward to testing this product drop feature? And do you think Twitter can become an e-commerce giant? Because right now they're getting most of their revenue from advertising. So it's a social media with an advertising business. Can they have an e-commerce business that powers the social media? That's really interesting. So tell me what you think in the comments below. And so lastly, before I leave you here, I just want to give you a few more comments about Ad360. So Ad360 is the easiest way today to start advertising all over the web. So besides social media and Google Ads, now you can run ads on the web on hundreds of millions of independent websites, and that includes news websites like TechCrunch. So you see these ads on the side of the website at the top. You could run your ads on this site as well. And so these ads are targeted, you see here, because this article talks about e-commerce and payment. We have ads here for payment solutions. So these ads are targeted, they're intelligent in the way that we're going to select the articles that are relevant to your brand, to your product, to what you have to sell. And all of that is fully automated. So if you download Ad360, will automatically generate ad banners, so creative, so these display ads in multiple shapes and formats, will generate them automatically for all your products. We're going to start creating campaigns automatically, so campaigns to bring new visitors to your site, and retargeting campaigns that will focus on people that have left your website before making a purchase. And we're automatically going to select the website and mobile apps that are most relevant, where for your advertising budget, you're going to get the most views, clicks, and sales, so that you have much more outcomes from your ads. And contrary to social media ads or Google, where everybody's fighting for the same eyeballs, you have now hundreds of millions of websites where you can choose from and you can get qualified users reading articles that are relevant to what you're selling, and we can run these ads in tech-specific news sites, in generic sites like CNN, Fox News, ABC. We can run these on small blogs that talk about a certain topic, on mobile apps as well. So it's really limitless. So whenever you go on a website, probably we have access to it because we have access to the majority of online websites through ad exchanges and ad networks. So and we can run these ads so at a fraction of the cost you bring in qualified visitors and buyers to your store. If you'd like to learn more, you can try the app for yourself with the first link in the description below, or book a call with the team to discuss if this is adapted to your business or not, and you can also see a demo with the second link in the description. So I wish you a ton of success, a ton of sales, and I hope to speak to you soon. Bye.